On Saturday, April 23rd of this year in the Fort Worth, Dallas, Texas area, I will be at the Better Discourse 4 event. It's live panels. There's going to be a bunch of creators there, including Blair White, Stephen Destiny Bonnell, Nuance Bro, finally getting invited to something, moving up them small channels, friend of the channel Mike Harlow, Ben Burgess, among many others, including my favorite of all time of all the speakers, Taba'a, and of course, Taba'a. Come out, see us live, it's great, take pictures, come to the after party, buy me a drink, I won't buy you a drink, have a great time, a good video starting. You know, I often talk about how I regret not starting this YouTube channel earlier, how I regret not being around in 2014, 2015, 2016 in the era when campus speeches being interrupted by far leftists was the hot trending topic. I felt like I missed out. I had the fear of missing out, and it's just because I decided to go to college instead of starting my channel right here on the internet.com. One of the biggest regrets of my life, and now that I am the #1 YouTuber on the platform, not political YouTuber, not right-wing political YouTuber, not right-wing political independent YouTuber named Actual Justice Warrior, but the #1 YouTuber on the platform right now, no sarcasm in there at all. I am glad to know that there is a story that can bring us back in time so that we can discuss the absolute craziness surrounding these people interrupting speeches. And credit where credit is due to somebody out there named Marino, great guy, for sending me this full video so I could digest it. And yes, I watched the whole hour of this total meltdown during the course of Jeff Younger's speech about Tranz's kids, Jeff Younger, the father of James Younger, if you remember that story, and we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be crazy. But before we talk about this mind virus that these lefties have, before we talk about the craziness of this person right here, we gotta talk about protecting yourself from internet viruses. And by the way, this will not protect you from the leftist internet virus. The US government has been warning about cyber attacks for years, and some of the largest cyber attacks in our history have been tied to the Russians. Now more than ever, your personal data is vulnerable to these hackers. This is one of the reasons why I have partnered with Virtual Shield. Protect yourself from these hackers, and if you sign up for Virtual Shield at virtualshield.com/justice, you can get 50% off your lifetime subscription. Also, you got that thing if you like streaming in other countries where you could change your location, virtualshield.com/justice. Come on! Give your name! Now, Jeffery Younger made news when he was in a bitter custody battle with his ex-wife over the custody of the children, and during the course of this custody battle, he put out a video talking about how his wife was trying to transiz their son James Younger into a girl during the course of this battle. One of the reasons why he wanted custody of his kids is because, according to him, when he talked to James, James acted and said that he was a boy, but every time he came back from his mother...
You're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy.
When did she tell you you were a girl?
Because I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
Does mommy do anything else like with a girl with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like dresses.
What does she do?
She puts them on me.
She puts dresses on you? Oh, wow. And what else does she do?
She buys my headbands.
Uh-huh.
And she gets me hair clips.
Oh, hair clips? Okay. Mm-hmm. What else?
Some microphones.
What else?
Like a skeleton.
Does she do anything with your fingers?
Yeah.
What?
She paints my nails.
So why does she do that?
Because I love like nail polish.
Oh. So mommy puts you in a dress and puts nail polish on you? And what does mommy tell you?
She tells me I'm a girl.
Oh, okay. Do you think you're a girl?
Uh-huh.
You do? Is that why you wear this, so that you can have long hair? Okay.
Again, according to Jeffery, that he was in fact a girl, and thus he wanted to become a Tranzez. Now, Tranzez kids is a major issue. It is absolutely ridiculous, and this case is no exception to that rule. Because the thing that you need to remember, and the thing that is often not reported even though it's crucial, is that one of the reasons why James Younger allegedly wanted to be a girl, and this is in the court documents, is because James liked the Teen Titans character Starfire. In fact, James liked the Teen Titans character Starfire so much that when the mother approached James, who again is old enough and rational enough to make his own decisions about what gender he is, and asked him what name he wants to change his name to, he in fact chose Starfire. Now, of course, the mother didn't want her kid named after a Teen Titan, so all of a sudden, this kid who is mature enough and wise enough and basically capable of picking his own gender was not capable of picking his own name, so now the mother calls James Luna. So isn't that interesting how that works? Isn't that interesting how this crucial detail is often left out in people's coverage, even though it's a perfect example of how, when it's necessary, all of a sudden, even the mother can limit what the kid wants, even though that was supposedly the kid's identity. He wanted to supposedly become a Tranzez because of Starfire, but you're not going to let him name himself Starfire because that would be ridiculous, but you will Tranzez your kid and make it a big custody battle and all kinds of craziness.
You're not loud enough. Drown me out. No. 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 No.
Anti-speech Nazi!
Get your fucking camera away from me! Get your fucking camera away
Then
from
if
me!
you don't want to be in my camera, get out of the way!
You get the fuck out of here!
Give
Fuck
me your
you and your
name!
fucking camera!
Give me
My
your
name
name.
is Jay! Fuck you!
Good! Nice to meet you. Talk to me
No,
afterwards.
I don't want to
me
talk to you! You're
afterwards.
fucking disgusting!
Go ahead, hit me instead. All right. How about a name? Come on, give us your name. Come on, have some courage.
Now, Jeffery Younger, by the way, lost this case. He lost this custody battle, and the wife has control over the kid. I believe he has some input on medical procedures, but overall, the schools, the mother, and all these people affirm that James is a girl. They don't call him Starfire because that would be ridiculous. They call him Luna, the trendy name that the mother picked, because, you know, the kid can pick his gender, but he totally can't pick his name. That would be absurd. Isn't that crazy? So, Jeffery is running for the Texas State House in order to correct legislatively what the judge did to him. So he's doing campus tours, talking about these issues, and this is one of those campus tours. So this is a Texas State House representative being protested by insane people, even though he's running on the back of what happened to him in relation to his son. That's the full story. And by the way, there are allegations, let me add this in there, that Jeffery was not paying his child support. He says that he missed one child support payment and didn't know, and that's why he lost. So there's going to be people calling him a deadbeat dad and all that. Again, child custody battles are incredibly messy, and the mother would have already had to have had custody for him to have been paying child support. So the whole issue of using child support against them for why he doesn't have custody doesn't really make sense because it defaulted to the mother, and this just seems like a way to smear him as a bad father and obfuscate the issue that he wants input on what's going on with his son, and he doesn't want the mother to be able to Tranzez the son and everybody in the schools and the Texas court system to recognize his son is now a girl. Again, a girl named Luna, not Starfire, because Starfire would be ridiculous. The kid can pick his gender, but he can't pick his name. That's totally sensible in terms of policy. It is totally consistent and rational. You might have seen this person already. You might have already decided that this is Trigglypuff fused with Aid Skrillex, the "you're a white male" person, all in one, screaming on the internet.com. You might have seen it on Twitter, you might have seen it on Instagram, you might have seen it on Telegram, you might have seen it on all the social medias, you might have seen clips of it in other people's videos. But what you fail to understand, what you fail to realize, what you fail to know is that this person did not scream 1 or 2 times during the course of his speech. There is definitely, bare minimum, a solid minute of this ridiculous humanoid screaming during the course of Jeffery Younger's speech, and I'm going to play you literally every scream in a row just so you can get tired of it.
No! I can't.
That's it! No.
So one of the reasons that this person decided to scream over and over again during the course of Jeffery Younger's speech, other than the fact that we've restricted beating your children when they're young so they don't have this type of behavior, just kidding about that, don't hit your kids, that's a bad idea. In fact, that probably leads to more problems like this than it actually solves, is the fact that according to this person, they are biologically female, but they transiz into a man, and Jeffery Younger was not respecting this person's pronouns. And normally, I would say, whatever, you don't get respect when you don't earn respect. But the thing is, this person did everything humanly possible to make themselves not look like a female, not look like anything associated with the feminine gender, so I think credit where credit is due in that regard. However, and I do in fact mean how and then ever, this is where some people on the internet.com would take the time for station identification, and I typically have done this in the past too, and say, listen, this Tranzez nut job of these leftists, they don't represent all leftists. I don't want to generalize based on the actions of these crazy people, and this is what I used to do because that's a rational, intelligent thing to do during the course of discussing these issues. But the thing is, that's not effective. We're trying to correct behavior here, and this is one of the reasons why I say this person is representative of the Tranzez movement, this person is representative of the far left, and we should stigmatize this person and those movements because we're trying to correct behaviors. Stigmas are good, stigmas help correct behavior. In fact, they help compel people within these communities to correct this terrible behavior because all of these people are total monsters, they're total idiots, they're total jokes, and on top of that, they have the backing of left-wing news organizations. I actually, during the course of trying to find some of the background of this about Jeffery Younger, found this Pink News article. Yes, I know it's a left-wing rag. Yes, I know this is Pink News UK, where they said that these idiots acting like idiots is exactly the way you should treat somebody like Jeffery Younger, who's an evil anti-Tranzez fascist. So these people have support, and saying that they're just a fringe minority, saying that they don't represent the left as a whole, even though we've seen this over the last 10 years repeatedly from them, doesn't help. It doesn't solve any of the problems. What we need to do is stigmatize these people. We need to staple this person to our left-wing opponents until our left-wing opponents start calling out this terrible behavior. The onus is on them to correct things in their community. Stop being afraid to stigmatize. Again, stigmas are good. They are bueno. They are A+. They are the tops. They are first class all the way. Add in more stigmas. Stigmatize your political opponents. It definitely works.
But you're so miseducated.
On top of that, while this screaming brat was the one that was screaming and is the most notable of all these clowns, you have to look at what was going on in this room while this guy was just trying to give a speech about his run for office, about a topic that has affected him personally. These people were shouting him down consistently. These people were acting like entitled brats, which again leads me to the question that we should all be asking, which is, this is Texas, supposedly Republican stronghold, supposedly conservative state. Well, it was the Texas state courts that sided with the mother in this instance and said, well, you gotta Tranzez the kid, and on top of that, we're gonna put a gag order on the father so he can't talk to the media about what actually went down during the course of the case involving his own kid. It was the Texas public school system that is aligned with the mother in affirming that James is Luna and is a Tranzez, and that is funded by the Texas government. It is these students, many of them on Pell Grants, many of them on government assistance in the state of Texas, going to a school that is also getting other money from the government, that are pushing this ideology, that are growing up trained to be activists in this institution, and it's all being funded by the state of Texas. So what I'm going to say should not shock anybody. What I'm going to say should make the most sense in the world. Not only should we stigmatize these activists, not only should we make this a problem for the left wing until this behavior gets corrected, but we should also stop funding these universities. Why are we training the next generation of activists to go into corporations to censor people that they disagree with and teaching them that this is effective and giving them national praise or international praise and shoving that in their face to validate their opinions? These kids need to be expelled. Ban them, get them out of town, and we also need to stop funding these universities. If you're producing woke Marxist garbage like this, if you're violating the First Amendment with the heckler's veto and the university is a-okay with it, if Jeffery Younger, a candidate for the Texas State House, needs to be escorted out from the mob by police, if other people need to be escorted out because they set up this event by police, if they have to hide in janitor closets, which by the way happened, then we should not be funding this. We should be yanking away the grants from these people. And I know some of that's federal money, but here's a crazy idea. If you want to be accredited or part of Texas's university system, the UT system, you can't get any more federal money until this is straightened out. These schools need to adopt First Amendment policies. These schools need to stop training these kids to be activists, and these schools need their funding cut until such a time when they've made moves in that direction to do this properly. Look, while it is fun to make fun of these people, while we should joke about them, while we should laugh at them, while we should mock them incessantly, and again, we should stigmatize them because stigmas are in fact good, in reality, these people are gaining ground. This will go viral amongst right-wing circles. This will go viral on Twitter. Maybe Bill Maher will mention it in his New Rules segment and say, wow, that's ridiculous. But overall, these people will keep advancing. It's been a decade of this strategy and it's not working. What we need to do is impose consequences on universities that allow these authoritarians to run wild. What we need to do is stop subsidizing the training of the next generation that is going to use their political power to take away all your liberties. The left always talks about structures and systemic systems of structural systemic structures in the context of obfuscating responsibility from individuals. I'm not obfuscating responsibility from any of these individuals. They should be held to account. They should be stigmatized. They should be shamed. They should not be allowed in polite society. But on top of that, we do have to go after the institutions that reward these people. These people should not be getting subsidized by the United States taxpayer. These people should not be subsidized by the taxpayers of Texas. Why is that happening? Why are Republicans not running on taking away the funding for these institutions that reward this terrible behavior? When the left takes power, when they actually get into office, they start rigging the rules in universities to be even more in favor of the left wing. They set up kangaroo courts where if you're accused, you're basically guilty until proven innocent, even though that's antithetical to the due process clause of the Constitution. All I'm saying is that we shouldn't be giving these people Pell Grants. And by the way, we definitely should not be forgiving any of these people's student loans. Forget about them. You should pay for your own university. I don't care if you pay millions of dollars in interest. You're absolute dirt in these videos, and you deserve to be saddled with debt because you went to school to study gender theory, and this is how you came out. Now look, I will leave the link to Jeffery Younger's campaign website website if you want to support his campaign. Just based on this, I'm sure a certain percentage of you out there do want to support his campaign. But I think it's far more important that if you're in the state of Texas, or if you're in any state where Republicans hold power and they're supposedly advocating for conservative principles, that you call up your representative and ask them why they keep consistently voting for funding that goes to train the next gen of Marxist activists. Why they think this is something of value to use your taxpayer dollars on. Why would you take from the productive, from the people in the private sector, the capitalists, and fund the Marxist nonsense that we're seeing across this nation? I really want you guys to get involved. I really want you guys to do that. And I'm starting to get close to the slogan, defund education. I think we need it. Defund it. It's the top budget item in every state's budget. It should be cut. We should send that money somewhere else where it's more productive. But hey, those are just my thoughts. I happen to be 100% right about everything that I just said, but if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know your wrong opinion down in the comments below. If you like the video, you could show me by leaving a like. You can subscribe for more content. You can follow me on all my social medias. You can support me via the support links down in the description box. This has been me talking about the insanity that went down during Jeffery Younger's speech. Till next time.